Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball.
An excellent performance from Angel Reese. It is rare.
Angel Reese is soon going to be kicked by the Chicago Sky after her recent poor performances.
Reese with another rebound, making 18 rebounds. Remember, she's got back-to-back with 20 rebounds. Looking, pursuing. Once again, Reese with the tip, another chance.
Her coach has clearly stated that he is losing patience with her due to her attitude and poor performance.
She has no skills. She has energy, she has an attitude, she'll rebound you.
She was never supposed to be in basketball, as she is more of a social media star than an athlete.
Angel Reese and the Chicago Bravado publicly embarrassed themselves.
Angel Reese's performance in the recent game was nothing short of embarrassing, a full-blown disaster that should be studied in sports psychology classes under How Not to Play Professional Basketball. She went 4 for 10 from the field, managed just 12 points, and somehow looked worse than those numbers suggest.
Angel Reese is shooting 36% on shots within 5 feet from the basket, which makes her the worst in a league filled with players who can't make shots from 5 inches away from the basket.
Because most of those misses were so wild, they probably triggered UFO alerts.
Reese trying to bully her way in on coffee.
These sorts of shots are the reason her coach is kicking her out of the Chicago Sky, because it wasn't the first time she had given a bad performance. In fact, this whole season, her performance kept on getting worse in each game, while her opponents were improving.
So this is their 7th game already on the road out of 10.
And they still have one more. This is a 3-game road trip for them.
Bantam Maroon, shot clock at 1, hounded by pound.
In one of the other games, Angel Reese shot 0 for 8 from the field, logged 5 turnovers, and only scored 2 points from free throws, despite playing nearly 30 minutes.
She sent 0 for 8 shooting, with her only 2 points coming on a pair of free throws. The point forward also committed 5 turnovers.
The worst thing is, after giving bad performance, she picked fight with her opponents to take out her frustration.
Atkins, 7 to shoot. Cardoso rolls, catch. Cardoso over the top, can't get it. Reese fights for the rebound, and a foul, and this time.
If we compare her with Caitlin Clark, her performance felt like an elementary schooler in comparison to Clark. Despite being one of the tallest players on the court, her defense was a letdown. That's humiliating. With 0 shot contests, she looked more like a confused bystander than a power forward.
Rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. One player was ready, while the other had a lot to learn. Of course,
the perfect example of her childish performance is that moment when the world saw the chaotic spirit of Angel Reese's game.
The bench. Cardoso with the miss. Angel Reese picks it up.
It was that shot, the now infamous no-look one-woman comedy act masquerading as basketball. The shot that should be studied in a lab. Not for technique, mind you. No, scientists need to examine how a human being can look directly away from the rim and still think, yep, this is a good time to launch it. The ball wasn't just off, but it was like it was trying to escape Earth's gravity. Honestly, her basketball felt less like a shot and more like a cry for help. So, what really happened? Reese gets the ball, turns, and without even bothering to glance at the rim, just flings it like she's tossing out trash after missing dinner. Not once, not twice, but 4 times.
What she's good at, getting another offensive rebound. She says, give me that. How about another? Persistence trying to pay off. Jones gets a piece. Angel Reese won't give up.
She missed 4 shots in the same sequence, like she was auditioning for a blooper reel instead of playing in a professional league. At one point, it started to feel like performance art, like maybe she was protesting the concept of good basketball altogether. You could practically hear the basketball gods groaning. The clip deserves to be played in science classes under What Happens When Coordination and Logic Leave the Body.
According to Jeffrey, we need more production out of Angel Reese.
No doubt the Chicago Sky became a laughingstock in the whole basketball world. Everyone is criticizing them, comparing them with other teams, and this led their coach to the big decision of trading Angel Reese.
Chicago Bravado, they still got their ass kicked.
In the sacred world of professional basketball, there's an unspoken rule. Coaches don't throw their players under the bus publicly. They sugarcoat, they deflect, they protect. But when Marsh cracked that wall and publicly hinted that the offense wasn't functioning properly, Well, that was basketball's version of HR sliding a termination letter across the table with a fake smile.
Listen to the organization. Listen to her head coach. He admitted he needs to create more open looks for Angel Reese.
Let's decode the diplomatic mess Marsh gave the media. He said the shots were rushed. That's coach speak for Angel panicked. She forced it. She had no idea what she was doing out there. He didn't say, she lacked composure and intelligence with the ball, but he might as well have, because rushed shots is the kind of gentle term coaches use when they're trying not to say, she played like she was under the influence of a Red Bull and blindfolded.
Chicago Sky head coach admits Angel Reese mistake.
He said, the offense needs to improve, but in the same breath basically warned, even if it does, you still gotta make layups, sweetheart. That's not supported. That's an ultimatum in disguise. A last chance post-it note before you're benched, traded, or gently escorted out of town with a best wishes card.
She rushed her attempts. So let's read this one, man. Some of her shots were rushed.
The message was crystal clear. The leash is short and Angel's running out of slack. Marsh's tone has changed from mentor to manager, and managers don't tolerate repeat offenders, especially not ones who miss shots even your grandma could make. The fans have noticed, the media has noticed, and now the coach has officially stopped babysitting her excuses.
Reese is shooting 22% through the first 2 games of the season, more troubling she's made only 37% of her free throws.
There were actual moments where Reese's own teammates chose to take a shot clock violation rather than pass her the ball.
He predicted that there could be building resentment amongst WNBA players towards Angel Reese.
It shows how little trust they had in her decision-making. She was out there throwing up shots without even looking at the basket, like she was reenacting a bad Harlem Globetrotters parody. And don't get fooled by the rebounds. Half of them were off her own bricks. Her presence on the court is starting to feel more like a liability than an asset. That is the reason Chicago Sky fans have had enough of her. They no longer want her in their team.
The real story is the Chicago bravado losing patience with Angel Reese.
They didn't just roast Angel Reese, but they deep-fried her performance and served it with a side of humiliation. Twitter became a battleground of memes, mockery, and pure comedic gold.
My wife bought some Reese cereal the other day, which looks absolutely disgusting.
The internet wasted zero time turning her bricklaying session into a viral roast. One user jabbed, she rebounded her tweet, implying that even her social media game has more bounce than her shot selection. Another quipped, I tried to buy an Angel Reese jersey, but it wouldn't go in the basket. This is a brutal metaphor that landed better than her actual jumpers. And the crown jewel among them?
Angel Reese being like, oh, she's playing too far away from the basket, like that's not her game, and Tyler Marsh trying things.
She plays like Patrick Ewing after the Monstars stole his talent. That's not just a roast, but it's a generational insult. Fans weren't just disappointed, but they were in full-on comedy mode, turning every missed shot into a punchline. In the game of public opinion, Angel didn't just lose, she got posterized. No one wanted her anymore.
3,500 people. And somehow, Angel Reese, big star. Somehow, the big star could not sell 3,500 tickets.
Not only this, Angel Reese's inconsistency has now officially become a business model for other people. That's right, her cold starts are so predictable, the betting community has turned them into easy cash. A group of TikTok users proudly revealed that they bet on Angel missing her first shot every single game, and they've won 9 times in a row. Let that sink in. Literal teenagers are profiting off of her inability to do the most basic task in basketball, make a bucket. It's not just a stat anymore, it is a meme with a bank account. She's gone from All-American to I'll avoid that shot.
If Angel Reese was your typical second-year player, she would be given the benefit of time, but she didn't want that. She wanted to be in the spotlight, and Angel Reese clearly is not ready for prime time.
And don't expect sympathy. This isn't just a bad night, it's a pattern, a streak of shame that fans are now financially exploiting. Imagine being so reliably bad at starting a game that you're helping people pay rent. Angel's cold starts aren't just unfortunate, they are profitable failures.
Angel Reese looks like an untrained professional wrestler.
What's worse, she doesn't even seem to recognize it. There's no visible adjustment, no shift in confidence, no sense of urgency. Just the same awkward, rushed, ill-advised attempts to get on the scoreboard early. Let's be honest. Her game hasn't evolved at all since her rookie year.
I agree with Marsh when he said they need to find a way.
Same clunky shooting form, same chaotic decision-making, same tragic inability to finish shots a middle schooler could make. You'd think after a full off-season, we'd see at least some growth. But no. What we did get was a flood of TikTok, makeup routines, and brand deals that scream Bayou Barbie louder than a buzzer beater ever could. Fans are starting to ask the real questions. Did she spend the off-season in the gym or just in front of a ring light? Because the court says one thing loud and clear: zero development.
Spending 80% of the off-season watching film.
Critics aren't buying the glam narrative anymore. Her brand is polished, but her game is dusty. Meanwhile, players like Caitlin Clark are out there grinding, not grinning for sponsored photo shoots. Clark's focused on results, not retweets, and it shows in the stat sheets. Reese, on the other hand, seems more interested in going viral than going vertical. And when your highlight reel is made up of missed layups and makeup tutorials, you have officially become your own worst distraction. If Angel doesn't realign her priorities, she won't just lose minutes, she will lose the respect of fans, teammates, and the league itself.
I'd take Angel. There is no team.
At this point, Angel Reese isn't being hated on. She's being exposed by gamblers, by memes, and by her own game. Her inconsistency is no longer a flaw, but it's a feature people are now investing in. If missing shots were a cryptocurrency, Angel Reese would be the new Bitcoin. Of course, no one wanted this humiliation and imperfection in basketball world, so her team is soon going to trade her. What are your thoughts about her? Do share with me in the comments section.